weapon.
You are special, Vinny.
Please hurry!
Ooh, the creepiest damn thing.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Wes Grant. You're watching Suburban Nerd, this channel where I give my nerd reviews. On today's nerd news, I also do movie reviews, and today's movie I'm going to be reviewing is Black Phone, starring the handsome Hawk, or Ethan Hawke, and this young kid, Mason Thames, or if that's how you pronounce it. And yeah, this movie, it was a surprise. I got to see an early screening of it, and if you guys haven't seen any of my reviews, I give a quick synopsis of it. I give my pros, I give my cons right off the top of my head, and then I give it a grade, and voila, that's my review. And all before that, just remember to like and share and subscribe if you like this content. So Black Phone, the premise of it, if you guys haven't seen the trailer, is there's a serial kidnapper slash killer who's been taking these kids, and this young kid Finney, who's played by Mason Thames, he gets taken, thrown into the cellar, who wakes up in a cellar, and there's a black phone that's in the room with him, and the phone doesn't work, but then it starts ringing, and he actually picks it up, and it turns out it's all the dead kids that were brought down there before, and they're gonna try and help him get out of there alive. So I'm gonna just start off, right? I had no idea what to expect with this movie. So I just went in kind of open slate, like, okay, I'm hearing some good things about it, like from CinemaCon or whatever, and I'm hearing, it's really good, but how good could it be? Oh, you don't know. This movie is so much better than it has any right being, and sorry, just turning on this thing, and it's mostly because of the people. The young boy, he plays a really great job of being like a teenager, kind of awkward to all the people, with different people. He gets beat up a lot, but he's the type that gets beat down, but he gets back up, and he doesn't really like to ask for help. And his sister, I wish I grew up with a sister like her, because you see families, they felt like a family, and it wasn't like they were had the best family in the world, because the father had issues, drinking issues, because apparently the mom had died, and the sister has the same kind of ability as far as she can see things and see things in her dreams. So she's a kind of major point of this movie. But the relationship between the brother and her, it just seems so real and so genuine. Like when the brother's getting jumped, this chick jumps in there with a rock, clocks these dudes, and then she gets herself kicked up and beat up too. But you know what? Family's down for family, and that's what was awesome about this movie. It's just so amazing, and it's so, this camaraderie, or the brotherhood and sisterhood, it was so great. On top of that, the story of the kid, and then there's so many things that are going on in this movie where one ghost is telling them to do this, one ghost is telling them to do that, and it all leads up to something you don't even realize, and it's just so amazing to see. It's I almost felt like there should have been a Rocky montage of this kid down in the basement, and it sort of reminded me of that movie with Jennifer Lopez, which there's not a lot of great movies with her. There's some okay, but Enough was one of those movies where this was a woman that kept getting beaten down, so then finally she started just taking control of her own life, training, and was like, no, I'm not gonna let it happen anymore. I'm gonna get out of the situation. And that's pretty much what it was with this kid, who also looks like a young Sam Winchester from Supernatural. If there's any Supernatural fans, this kid, I kept looking at, I was like, this looks like a young Sam Winchester, like the jawline and everything. But anyways, so my pros is the family relationship between a brother and a sister. The pros is Ethan Hawke. He comes off as creepy. He is one creepy dude in this movie, and Ethan Hawke is a great actor, so I expect nothing less, especially if you see him all the things he's in. And the latest thing that I saw him in was Moon Knight on Disney Plus. But he does a great job. Like I said, the sister, the way she acted, and everything was great on that. There was so much humor in this movie. The humor, it was on point. Whether it was some dark humor, whether it was the humor of the kid, but it's just everything. The other supporting cast, the other kids that you met, the kind of the bully beater upper that has that actually the boy's tutoring, their relationship is amazing too, and it all just comes together in the end. It's just so great. The music was nothing spectacular, but it's still the ambiance and everything was good. Nothing too memorable, but I definitely remember that during scenes the music was good. The storytelling was amazing. The character building, even a father who had issues because he was drunk, you actually believe that he loves these kids and he wants to do right by them by the end. It's just overall there's so many positive. As far as my one negative would probably be that there was some things that are kind of too obvious, or sort of like I'm not gonna say too easy for them. Like, you know, like how there's things that just happen and you know it's only happening because they're the protagonist. Yes, there's a little bit of that, but you know, in a lot of movies, that's what seems to happen. Like a lot of times, the main person's got to survive or something like that. So, you know, they're gonna have things happen. You know, where else other people probably would have got killed off right off the bat. But you know, I'm gonna let that slide. But other than that, this movie, I did not see really as far as flaws in the storytelling. As much as what I just said, the acting. This movie is getting an A. It's simple as that. I don't give A's out like that, but this movie deserves an A because I legit, like, the person I saw the movie with, they was like, maybe A-. I was eager, but what are your issues with it? Because there's some things that you might take issues with, but if you really think about it, it makes sense because this movie happened in 1978. So going according to that, how, especially, and these are little kids, how they might act or what they might do. Yes, in panic they might not do logical things, which is definitely what I you know, some things happen. I'm like, okay, why didn't they do this? But you know, little kids panic. You know, it's just not the same as it is today, where everyone's methodical and thinking so much. So, and seeing all these different scenarios, how to get out of stuff. You know, so I let stuff like that slide if it makes sense, and this definitely made sense. So A, not going for A+ because it's not a perfect movie, but it's really great movie, entertaining. I say if you have not seen or have thought about watching this movie, watch it. Take your significant other. It's worth watching. If you like someone that likes horror, this isn't like the scariest movie, but it's more like a suspense thriller than a horror movie. So that's what I'm gonna say. And thank you for checking out my review. So remember, I'm Wes Grant. You've been watching Suburban Nerd, and you just been notified. Catch you guys on the next review.